Welcome back to a new YouTube video, guys. I saw this article from Geeks and Gamers. Is Supergirl edit for a box office disaster? Well, this is coming from an industry insider that predict that this year film could lose over $200 million. That's from the box office, and this is from DC as a franchise. The success of, let's say, Superman by James Gunn has been quite successful. Well, let's look at the box office. Should we say? Well, Superman was released back in the summer in 2025, but about this, the Kryptonians upbringing of report of Clark Kent. Well, let's look at the box office. The budget for it was 225 million. That's what's been reported, but actually the real budget isn't 225. You can see it was released by the British tax credit fund. I think it was over $300 million with a budget. And let's say you add marketing in $100 minimum for marketing. That's over like $400 plus for the overall budget spent for equating Superman, and only generated 618. If you spend $400 million, you at least need like 800, 900 million just to break even or start to see some return. But it only got 618 million that worldwide. That's not looking good. And let's compare this to Man of Steel without adjusting for inflation or putting money, adding money into it. Look at this, $618 million worldwide box office, and let's compare it to Man of Steel. You can see $670 million, and see it has the same budget, which I'm quite surprised isn't true. But $670 million compares to $618 million, and this Man of Steel, I think it was released back in what 2013, over a decade, over a decade, and James Gunn Superman has drawn less, and now we have upcoming, let's say, Supergirl. Think about this: you started a franchise of DC. You need what? Superman. You need what next? Batman. We need next Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, Green Arrow, Cyborg, Martian Manhunter. But no, you have Superman. That flops. Now suddenly you're coming up with what? Supergirl, and then I heard there's a clear face. So it's kind of like, then I don't think DC superheroes are not taking themselves seriously. So let's get back to the article. Is Supergirl headed for a box office disaster? And in my opinion, I think so. Which is released this upcoming next month in June over the summer. So let's get back to the article. The early box office outlook for the Supergirl is starting to raise serious red flag, and it's not coming from random online chatter. It's coming from the insiders of industry itself. On this Town podcast, Punk founder Matthew Belloni didn't just express mild concerns. He flat out tanked expectation for James Gunn's next DCU entry, which is planned on releasing on June 26th. I'm not confident, Belloni says, and I truly agree with that statement. I'm not confident with Supergirl releasing, but let's continue this article. I was hoping to see. I enjoyed the Superman movie last summer. It got to 618 worldwide and up to 125, but the footage show at CinemaCon not great. Seems like less of a kind IPO milker. So I'm dropping this as 2-2. And he gets back to say even the optimistic take isn't great. I'm not that much more confident that in that 5. Milani said I was not thrilled about the footage at CinemaCon. We come to see about the Supergirl marketing. The trailer releasing on YouTube hasn't seen a huge support, hasn't seen a huge boost, let's say with like and dislike ratio. Marketing, you don't see a billboard of Supergirl international. I'm not seeing Supergirl everywhere. So no one's talking about Supergirl. And with the old budget, let's say of 200 million plus, I think I'm expecting 250, 300 worldwide. That could be a failure. That is a failure. So let's continue this article. The production value was there. It just felt very chaotic and a busy way. That just let them breathe, he added. The only response was pretty simple when he said lame. He didn't just push back, say yeah. So the budget problem no one can ignore. Here's where things can go from concern to potential distractions when I made it clear that Supergirl isn't some low budget experiment. I know this is a cheaper than Superman. I was assured that it was not like a daredevil to Electra came down in terms of budget. It said, transition. This movie isn't as expensive as Superman, but it still costs a lot. So let's think about it. So if Supergirl land in the 150 to 200 million range, it's likely needs somewhere between 375 to 500 million worldwide just to break even. Now, compared to what Bologna Supergirl box office projection, I think from Bologna's projection, box office projections, thinking about 300 to 350, which I think, half of Superman, that's not great. That gap is where the potential of 200 million dollars start to come into play. Marketing strategy raises an eyebrow. We're seeing less marketing from Supergirl. There's also confusion about the Warner Bros. Plan to sell the films. There's going to sell this as, film-driven superhero meets John Wick, Melanda says. That pitch might sound catchy on paper, but it also highlights a recurring issue: unclear identity. Is this character-driven Disney story a grounded action thriller, a stylish spectacle? And they're trying to compare this as the famous marketing of John Wick of placing this. What is the John Wick movie before? Of Ballerina, which Ballerina didn't quite did so great compared to John Wick star. So let's look at best case versus reality. Mendelism didn't offer us to know where things go right, but within that comes with caveat. If it does 500, everyone should be happy because again, this isn't the 2010s where a studio lives or doubt super franchise should say. That's the best case outcome. The problem is that numbers look increasingly out of reach based on the current projection and early reaction. Instead, the more realistic range floated from 200 to 350 would fall well short of profitability by hundreds of millions. And we're looking at the bigger picture of DC. Supergirl isn't just another movie. Exactly, Supergirl is coming out from the success, or you could say lack of success, of Superman, part of the James Gunn attempt to relaunch the DC brand. And right now, the early seeding isn't encouraging, you can say. So when insiders are calling for the project not square labeled as IP milking and projecting a ceiling that barely clears mid-tier performers, that's not kind of the momentum a rebooted universe needs. And I truly agree with this article. It's not. So because if Supergirl underperformed or was becomes a financial loss, it doesn't just hurt one film. It truly does raise serious questions about the entire DCU strategy moving forward. So how do you think Supergirl will do at the box office? Make sure you sign up in the form and let us know. Even sign up for these YouTube videos to let me know what's your projection. So do you think Supergirl could reach 200? Yes. He better be strong Jimmy in the box office. So I can say could Supergirl reach 350? Now that's the question I have. 350, 325, 380. I think Supergirl might struggle to release break 400 million box office. That's my true honest opinion. And compared to the latest of Superman releasing this over the summer in July 9th, and Supergirl is coming up in what, June 26th, I think the total might be 354 for Supergirl. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys. Make sure you subscribe, like the video if you think you agree with what I'm thinking about of Supergirl and its budget and its success of the new DC franchise. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment. And if you like the video, please subscribe, please like. It gives me the encouragement to keep making this type of video in the future. And I'll see you later.